Okay, it's been a while since I did a video. I've been kind of wrapped up with a lot of other stuff. So a little bit of an update. Basically, I've been reading this book a bit. Got it a while back, and it's from 1970. It's a color TV training manual, and it's Howard Sam's publication. So it's the same people who made the photo facts. So this tells you pretty much everything you need to know about working on a color vacuum tube TV. They did have newer books, but if you go too new, it won't really mention the vacuum tube stuff. This book's kind of in between those phases where they had some solid state stuff, some tube, and it kind of describes both. So it's kind of a good point to get a book if you had to choose a specific time era. So this is pretty in depth. It goes from talking about human eyes perceiving color to like waveforms and how the color TV signal is transmitted, all of it. And it's got, you know, a glossary, a pen, yeah, it's got everything. So I got that I've been reading. I got a photo fact for the Ford Filco I've been working on that had the arcing issue a while back, if some of my viewers may have remembered. So this is the photo fact for it. It was brand new when I got it. It was sealed. So I've been using this to try to figure out what's causing the issue. At this point, it's either that the voltage is too high, or that would be why it could be arcing if the voltage going to the CRT is too high. There's like a knob to adjust the voltage. And I'm kind of wondering if that's because I replaced the horizontal output tube that came with it that had failed and was doing the purple plasma weird business arcing. And basically, the new tube might be so strong and good on emissions that maybe the voltage level is higher at that specific position that the potentiometer is on that adjusts the voltage. So maybe, because I think that knob was turned all the way up, and maybe they did that to account for the other old tube getting weaker until it finally went. So that's my theory. First theory. My second theory is that a diode failed in that there's a diode behind the high voltage cage that might have failed, but it's kind of hard to test it because there's a resistor in basically parallel with it, and I'm not really sure how accurate the readings are when I'm trying to do the diode test. So those are two things I'm going to have to kind of check out. Now, obviously, when you're dealing with high voltages like that, this is like a hybrid TV, but it's really dangerous. So you have to be careful. You don't want to just be sticking stuff around in it. Which brings me to the next thing I added and end up getting. This is an RCA High Voltage Probe, new old stock, or at least I think they said it was. But the WG297 High Voltage Probing cable, it's got banana plugs on it, and some instructions here. So you notice how there's, this is plastic. You want to make sure it's clean. You don't want any water on you. And there's a plug that goes to ground, and there's two plugs that goes to your multimeter. And there's like a big resistor in there that's supposed to help dissipate any stray electricity that's going to try to zap you. So this is very handy when really it's a necessity. If you're working on vacuum tube TVs, you need a high voltage probe, or else you will not get very far. So that's going to be kind of with that. Someone was nice enough to give me a old book from 1949 called 101 Radio Electronic Circuits, which this talks about a little bit of all the circuits that were common in 1949, early TVs. It doesn't go into the UHF because UHF wasn't a thing in 1949, I don't believe. It's just VHF, FM, AM, and audio circuits. So that's kind of nice, right? And then there's another book. This is another TV book for TV servicing, but this is from 1951. So this is going to be not mentioning transistors whatsoever. This is going to be talking about black and white TVs and how to set up black and white tube TVs. Now, this book actually is in not bad a shape for how old it is. Again, this was something else that someone gave me, and he also gave me a bunch of older radio vacuum tubes, which are not with me at the moment. I put them in storage somewhere else because I really don't have anything that uses those older globe-shaped tubes at the moment. So yeah, I've been kind of studying mostly because it's kind of silly to do too much if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, other than the obvious things like recapping, which I cleaned out the Zenith TV that I've been working on because it was filled up with acorns and rat poo. If some of you may have remembered who have been watching. Yeah, so basically, been cleaned out a bunch of stuff. Been doing a bit of studying here, and yeah, that's kind of my goal for this year has basically been to get a lot of this stuff I've been working on done once and for all, and hopefully I get all these TVs fixed once and for all. I mean, I've got the Heathkit TV still needs to be. It had an issue that needs fixed. It needs convergence, and then the Ford Philco needs fixed. The Motorola actually turns on, but it needs adjusting. And then I've got the Zenith. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like 4 TVs basically, and then I've got that Heathkit computer laying around somewhere that also is dead, and the power supply circuits got some issues. I tested the diodes, but the diodes are fine, and the power supply circuit. Oh, actually, on a side note, I'm gonna look here. I did get another piece of equipment. Actually, I have several, but this one I don't think I showed everyone, which is it's a Syncor Color King. I've just got it laying here. The mirror is. I'm gonna have to glue back the mirror on the side door, which is why it's not here. So, this is from like 1970. It's a solid state color generator. It does kind of work, although I kind of wonder if I'm not 100% sure because with solid state TVs, I'm not sure if this thing actually is going to work as well, or if it only really works particularly well with tube TVs for signal generation and reception. So we'll have to look into that and test it on the Motorola, because the Motorola really needs a whole lot of convergence work and color purity and degaussing. And that's kind of a bit of an update for now. I'll probably put up another video in the next week or so. See you guys.